Well, it's come time to sell the $5,000 work truck. Truck's served its purpose. We've got over 275,000 miles on this truck, 276,000, almost 76,500 almost. So nearly 300,000 miles on this truck. Been a good truck. Not really, but we'll talk about it. I guess this is where vehicles come to die. For those that are new to the channel, this is our four-wheel drive Tercel, and it is currently not registered due to a broken windshield. And this truck has some issues that have led us to the determination that it is time to sell. So this is our 2002 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD with 275,000 miles on it. Bought it for $5,000 and used it in the business, and we have replaced so many components on this thing, probably too many to list. The biggest component we replaced was the brake system. We've got a new parking brake lever, parking brake cable. I think all the cables are new. The whole system was just messed up, and even after we got it fixed, it continued to just randomly lock up the brakes. All the tires would smoke and just get really hot and overheated because the brakes would not release. So I don't know what's wrong with that. That hasn't happened for a while, but that was a problem for a very long time. I think we've got some fluid in here. I don't know if this is new or old, but I think there might be some type of drip happening underneath here, power steering or brakes or both. That was the other thing with this truck, is when we bought it, it was super clean. What I thought was really rust-free, clean truck. I knew it had some rust. So we've got the rocker rust down here. So I knew that existed. What I didn't realize existed is we've got in our rocker panels here, we've got, I don't know if you can even see it, we've got rust up here that's starting to form back underneath these fenders. But I wanted a clean, well taken care of truck, and I thought that's what this was. And I found this truck. It's two-wheel drive. I didn't like that. It had high miles. I didn't like that. But I like these 6.0 trucks, and I wanted to give the high mileage trucks a shot. So gave this one a shot. It looked really clean. The mistake I made was I bought it from somebody who had bought it from someone else just recently. So they knew there was issues, and they kind of just were pawning it back off to someone else. They cleaned it up really good. There was no leaks or drips or anything like that. And that was one thing I was really looking forward. And then in the first 6 months of ownership, took it to the shop. Again, the brakes was an issue, but then the leaks were crazy. We fixed so many leaks. It did have a cracked flywheel. The cracked flex plate. So it had like this weird tinging, knocking sound when you'd start it up and randomly while I was running. Got that fixed. Had a rear main seal that we got fixed. We got the transmission tail shaft, I think, was leaking. So we fixed all that, refilled the transmission. All that's been great ever since. Had the knock sensors go out, replaced those myself. I think the water pump was bad. Had the shop replace that. New motor mounts on it. Really have done a ton of maintenance on it. If I would have charged $100 an hour labor, and the shop, they charge about $100 an hour labor, all in all, parts and labor and all that, we've probably done $10,000 worth of repairs on this truck since we've owned it. And we've only put about 10,000 miles on it. So not a ton of miles, $1 a mile, just in repairs. We'll sell it. We'll sell it for probably $3,500. Maybe $4,500 if we're lucky. The market's kind of come down, so these trucks are not as valuable. Being two-wheel drive, it's not as valuable. It's been a work truck, so it's got work truck things. One of our employees jackknifed it, so this rear bumper pushed in and pushed into there in the bed. We did upgrade and put the B&W hitch on there, so it does have that. It is a long bed. We try to get long bed trucks for work trucks. But aside from that huge dent in there, it's really a pretty clean truck, especially for being 20 years old. Interiors is kind of a nice trim. We've got automatic door locks. We've got the center console, so that's kind of an upgrade. Stock radio. We got this stuff up here too. So a little bit of a nice truck. Has the extended cab. I actually really love hooking up to the gooseneck with this truck because you can see in the bed really easily to get the ball on. All our other trucks are crew cab long beds, and you can't see anything, and then a lot of them have toolboxes, and then you really can't see anything. But this truck's kind of a dog. We've got the 2015 with the 6.0. This has the 6.0, and the 2015 will outpull this like crazy. This truck's just not a tow rig. This is not a tow rig. It just doesn't feel like anything compared to the 15. So we're going to try to pick up 2015 and up trucks, probably gas trucks. Well, definitely gas trucks for our employee trucks. And then my truck's was an LBZ. Now it's the L5P Duramax diesel. Diesel pulls great. I actually think the 6.0s do better in the snow, but it's been a good work truck. I do wish this had a four-wheel drive, and then I would have put my plow for my LBZ on the front of this truck and might have thought about keeping it for longer. But this year we've had the transmission reverse go out, fixed that. That was a pretty inexpensive DIY fix. Just spent a little bit of time, dropped the pan, put a new reverse servo pin on there, extended the length on it, and then it has worked fine ever since. But now we've got a check engine light saying mass airflow sensor or NOx sensor, and a couple things like that. And I'm not willing to keep putting money into this. For the amount of money I've invested in this truck, I could have owned a much nicer truck and had much less repairs, and the truck would be worth a lot more at the end of the day. So again, a little bit of rust, really. It's to be expected on this year truck. Frame's good, frame's clean, axles, all that stuff's solid. It's just the body's rusting, and then like I say, the fenders are rusting. So this truck been with us for a little over a year, and it's time to sell it off and replace it if necessary. And boy, is it a hot one today. We just finished our week of 100 degrees with real fill temperatures up to like 125. It's been nuts. Pretty consistently between 105 and 125 as far as the real fill. So yeah, getting this truck ready to sell, and the Tercel too, unfortunately. I'm actually thinking about getting a four-wheel drive Tacoma. We would kind of replace the Tercel. Love having a little putz around car. Tacoma would be great, running around, running errands for the business, and then also be good to snow rig too. Tercel was awesome for doing snow removal, and this truck was not. Two-wheel drive truck with tried throwing weight in the rear, just was not a good snow rig, sidewalk rig, nothing, just useless. So that's another reason we're kind of end of the season. Not really, it's just not worth keeping. We're not really using it as much. We've got a smaller crew this year, and between my truck and the 15, we've pretty much had it handled. The 15 did blow a radiator, so we fixed that. But it's back. I mean, that truck's just best investment ever, best ROI of any work trucks we've ever owned. So, anyways, I think that's that for this one. We're gonna put this up for sale. Hopefully we get a couple $1,000s out of it, and someone else can deal with an old truck. You know, I don't think you can buy a work truck for under 10 grand. And whether you buy a $5,000 truck that needs $5,000 worth of repairs, or whether you buy a $10,000 truck outright, every single work truck's gonna cost you 10 grand. So when I was a kid, I definitely was that kid that was always looking for the $1,500 truck that it's a steal. You know, this truck's normally $4,000 or $5,000. Well, it's because it needed $2,500 worth of work, and I fell trapped with that a lot when I didn't have enough money. And now that I have more money, I can kind of see through those things, and I can make those business decisions and choices. And honestly, this truck's kind of been a little bit of a research and development project for me too. And just, hey, can we use a two-wheel drive truck for work? Can we use a $5,000 cheap truck? Can we use a high mileage truck? And it's proven to be, I need four-wheel drive for snow. I don't think I'll buy another truck with 250,000+ miles on it. I want to try to stay 200, 225. Really, I'd love to see 150,000 to 200,000. Trucks are just so dang expensive. And I mean, honestly, you buy a 5-year-old truck with 200,000 miles on it for $30,000-$40,000, or you can go buy a new one with 0 miles on it for 50-60. So price per mile, and then the other newer trucks, you know, if you can afford it, it's probably better to buy new. But yeah, this truck was not a cheap truck. My 15 still holds more. You know, if I were to sell both these trucks today, that truck would make me what I paid for it back, and probably then some. And it's hardly cost me a dime to run. And this truck's, I'm gonna lose probably $1,000, $2,000 on selling it, maybe even $3,000. And I've dropped 10 grand into repairs. And I honestly haven't, I mean, I've put on, in the last year, I've probably put on twice as many miles on that other truck. So it was a good learning experience. I'm still glad I did it. And I've learned a lot, like the mileage, like the 4-wheel drive. And I kind of knew that going into it. I just wanted to pull the trigger on something cheap and see if I could have a nice, cheap backup truck. And now I think I need a little bit nicer backup truck if we're going to have a backup truck. Even if it's a Tacoma with 250,000 miles on it, I think that'd be nicer than this truck. So maybe I'll prove myself right and buy a high mileage Tacoma, and then also be regretting that choice. But we'll see what the next vehicle choice is. Anyways, I think I've done enough rambling. Thanks for watching Thrifty Garage. We will see you on the next one. I'm cleaning out the 2002, getting it ready to sell. Looking in the manuals, and I found the original window sticker. So this is a 2002 Chevy Silverado LS 2500 HD 2-wheel drive extra cab. I always wondered what color this was. It's pewter metallic. There's our standard features. Here's our standard vehicle price of $28,000. LS options. We've got our tow haul mode is an extra $1,000 with a heavy duty transmission. 6-way bucket seats $1,000. Locking differential $295. Rear window defogger. Total options comes out to be $32,000. Does not show our MPG ratings. My name is Carson. Welcome back to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. In today's video, we're picking up this truck. This is a Copart auction truck. Just tightened down our tie straps, but we're on a road home right now.